Hi. Okay, this feels so weird. It's been a while. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, then it looks like I've never posted anything. If you're an old subscriber, I had a ton of Masterbooks content, so I've been gone for a while. Hi. I am slowly getting back into making videos. I've been making some shorts and kind of just thinking about where I want this channel to go. Initially, when I first had my channel, my kids were front and center in it, and as I've always been a small, tiny channel, but as I learned more about internet safety and as the channel, grew, then I was less comfortable with my children being front and center, and so I pulled way back. And then also just the season of life that we were in, things got really busy, having more babies, my children getting older, homeschooling became more demanding for us. Financially, I needed to put my efforts into other areas. My husband had a huge health scare and we were dealing with that. So I took a step back from my channel. And I also so YouTube, I wasn't monetized. I've never been monetized. But when I first started, the metrics for how to get monetized were like 1,000 subscribers and a certain amount of watch time. I don't really remember, but I've hit those. But by the time I hit those, they had changed the metrics needed. But YouTube was running ads on my content. The problem was I also didn't have any control about what type of ads would be run over my content, and that is why I took down a bunch of my videos. Is there were a few ads that I personally was not comfortable with being associated with. So anyways, I still don't know how to combat that. We'll kind of just see what happens. Yeah, that's it. People were asking why. That's why. That's it. I needed more time to my family, and so I wasn't going to be putting out new content, and I didn't know how to fix the whole ads thing, and so I just put everything. I still have all the content, it's just all unlisted. I think I'll be putting those back to public soon. Okay, so a lot of you who know me as like a Masterbooks mom, and so that's a question I still get a lot. Do I still use Masterbooks? Yes, I still use Masterbooks. Still love Masterbooks. I used to moderate for them in the app as a Masterbooks coach. I don't do that anymore. That was such a wonderful opportunity, but again, I just didn't have time to. I felt like I was being pulled in so many directions. So I don't do that anymore, but I'm still on the Masterbooks app and I still enjoy that. And we don't use Masterbooks exclusively. I've always been an eclectic homeschooler, and I'm big on finding what works for your kids. So some of my kids use Masterbooks courses, and I will be sharing what we use like outside of Masterbooks. We use like Sunlight for our readers and Pathway readers. We use Plain and Not So Plain for some of my kids with language and with math even. We use Math Lessons for Living Education from Masterbooks. We use language lessons. We use writing strands. Sciences, we use Masterbooks, and we're doing that family style. We've split off some subjects family style, some subjects not, and it's like ever evolving and ever changing. Right now we're doing it family style. History, we just finished, so we finished America's Story 1, 2, 3, and we did that family style. That's a Masterbooks. And right now we're using Story of the World, and we're just doing a read aloud, and that's just the season that we're in right now. And in the fall, I will pick an actual course, but right now that's where we're at. Let's see, that's pretty much the homeschool update. I have children from the age of 13 down to 4. Oh, we're using Stepping Stones, also Masterbooks. So yeah, what else? I took the last 4 years. It's so weird. I've been off of YouTube for so long. I've been off of it, I think, for 2 years. But for the last 4 years, I've been on a health journey. I get a lot of questions about that. Yes, I've lost 100 pounds, and it took me 4 years, and very boring, very slow and steady. But I'm not really going to make that a huge focus of my channel, but I will talk about healthy living and what I'm doing in my health journey if people want to hear it. So I'll talk a bit about it, and then we'll see how that goes. A lot of questions over on Instagram about how I did that. And it, again, like I said, really boring. I ate in a calorie deficit, a very mild calorie deficit, very sustainable. I ate for fat loss and exercised for strength. And I healed my relationship with food. I am now, I would consider like food as a neutral, where before it was very emotionally charged for me. So I look at it more as just fuel. and not something that I have to earn, and also not something that's a reward, and also not something that I restrict to punish myself. So those are all big healing areas of mine. Not everybody struggles with that, but I definitely did. And then exercise and movement. I used to think, I mean, I was like, I don't know how big I was at my biggest, but I was 235 pounds when I was like, okay, I'm going to do something about this. I had already had my fifth child, and I just was tired and overwhelmed. And like I said, my husband was going through an intense health scare, and I was like, man, I'm like, I might be all that. And luckily, my husband's fine and healed, and it's amazing. But at the time, I was like, I might be all that my kids have. Like, I need to be healthy. I need to. And my husband also got very healthy. He also lost 85 pounds and is in great shape. He's very healthy, so we're very grateful. Yeah, I was weight lifting like 5, 6 times a week in that body, and I was very strong, but I was very unhealthy. I started to focus on, and I didn't really, I mean, I enjoy weightlifting, but I didn't really enjoy what I was doing. So now I look at movement in terms of joy, and I run, but I don't run to lose weight or anything like that. That's a question I've gotten. I run more for the mental aspect, and yes, it is a calorie burner, but you can't outrun a bad diet. So nutrition is how I stay lean, and running helps my mental state and just brings me joy. Honestly, it's just fun. I don't run super far distances. I don't like endurance running. I like sprinting. I like the 5K to 10K range. That's what I like. And then I lift weights 4 times a week. So 2 days upper body, 2 days lower body, and I run usually about 3 to 4 times a week. I'll have a sprint session, a couple easy runs, and then one long run. And again, a long run for me, like in the running community, that might be like 18 miles or something. A long run for me is anything over 5 miles. That's a little catch up about where I've been, what I've been doing, and just I wanted to reintroduce myself to the channel and let you guys know that I'm going to be bringing more content. Happy schooling!